I don't know how the thing that's going to be revealed in the trailer is actually going to be revealed, but can you talk to us about how you came to the decision of the thing that was going to be revealed and how that was going to function in this scene?
Wow, that's awesome. That's like the best question ever. And by the way, not even the best question ever, the best phrasing of a question ever.
As it was coming out, I liked the way it was coming out.
But we can talk about it because it's already happened basically in the future.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, it's funny, it really happened very organically in the sense that we had this notion that in episode 16 we were going to reveal that Malcolm Merlyn was trained by the League of Assassins. And that's because that's basically the comic book. You know, Malcolm Merlyn was a member of the League of Assassins. And we were like, oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get away with a little reference about a guy, Nanda Parbat, who changed his life. And that was just the beginning. And then in episode 3 of season 2, we were like, let's name check Ra's al Ghul and see if we can get away with that. And we just slowly started creeping towards it and creeping towards it and creeping towards it. And then discussions started happening with DC, and you know, I think Superman, Batman started to come into clearer focus, and the character seemed to be available as far as like not being used in the movies. And it was a very, very organic progression. And that's, quite frankly, what was fun for us, was just how natural it all happened. And we have a really clever way of doing Ra's this year that is, you know, true to the comic book origins, but also different from the way Ra's was portrayed in the Nolan movies. And that was important to us too, because you know, you don't want to compete with, you know, Batman Begins. Even though we've always said Batman Begins is a huge influence on us, we really wanted our Ra's to be very different. At least, you know, our own Arrowified version of it. But it was all just a very natural, slow progression. In fact, even when we were, you know, talking about Ra's in the 3rd episode of season 2, it was well, how many times should we mention his name, and how often should we talk about him? Because that name actually has a lot of power, you know, particularly among the comic book fans, and we didn't want to over milk it and overuse it. And one of the fun things I feel about the Comic-Con trailer that we just showed is that we not only show you a little hint of Ra's, we also repeat all the times we basically mention his name. Which shows you sort of how long we've been talking about this and thinking about it.
Okay, now one thing you mentioned, the powerfulness of the name, the pronunciation of the name, because we got in a lot of trouble when we started writing it last year, and people got into fights about how you want to pronounce Ra's, Raj, whatever.
Well, the beauty part of what you guys do is you just have to type it, you know, and it's the same spelling. It's different pronunciation, and basically what we decided to do, and I think you sort of saw this in episode 213 when Nissa came to town, is we basically honored the 2 different pronunciations. Some of our characters say Raz, and the ones sort of more in the know say Raish. Okay. And that struck us as a very reasonable compromise, because we wanted, you know, there was clearly 2 different schools of thought, and we wanted both to be represented.
So how will his daughter play into this season?
I'm trying to think about how to answer that without spoiling it. But,
That's fair.
Well, she will absolutely play into this season, and we have a really cool arc for her planned. You know, basically, I will say the first time we see Raz or Raish will be in a scene between him and Nissa.